there, and thank you for clicking on my video. This is a Ghost of Tsushima build video for a build that I call Sheer Terror. We're going to be proccing the Terrify status effect on enemies as often as possible. This is an endgame build because we're using the ghost armor that you get at the end of Act 2 going into the final act. And it's just a real fun approach to the game, and that's why I'm sharing it. I say that because you can run headlong into an engagement and just start hacking, or you can approach it in a shinobi ninja style fashion, if you so choose. There's just many different ways to play the game. Another perk of this build is the frequency in which you can use the ghost stance super ability. It just happens, you can proc that thing all the time. It's pretty overpowered. On that note, the footage that I'm going to show you, a few notes on the footage that I'm going to show you, I will be refraining from using the ghost stance fairly often. You'll notice that I've got the ghost stance ready to go and I just don't use it. That's just so I can showcase the build instead of just super powering my way through all the fights. Similarly, I refrain from using assassination and stealth as much as possible. And again, not because it's not viable, it very much is. It's just also viable on plenty of other builds. So it doesn't really showcase the specifics of this. And one more note to the footage before we get into it. All the footage you see is mostly on lethal mode. I was doing this build before lethal mode was introduced via patch, I think 1.05. So I played through the game on hard, so everything's on hard. I'd say about half of the footage I'm going to use is on lethal. So this is definitely the hardest level of difficulty that was available when I was doing the footage.
Show mercy!
Okay, so let's get into it. Well, first and foremost, I want to go over the framework of the build. We'll get into the charms later, because those are swappable, but I guess the requisites for the build would start with the ghost armor, and that's what we have here, the ghost armor. So as you can see, it reduces enemy detection speed, it reduces the number of kills needed to go to the ghost stance, and most importantly for the Sheer Terror build, kills have a 30% chance to terrify a nearby enemy. That's where we're getting our base Terrify procs from. Now, like I said before in the intro, you can obviously play a stealth style with this due to that first perk there. And the second perk there reduces the number of kills needed to enter the ghost stance by 2. Ensures that you will have your ghost stance up a lot. So how are we going to terrify people? We got 30% chance on kill right here. What's next? Let's go to techniques. And I would suggest that you use your techniques a lot. I found myself throughout the game, for some reason, holding on to resolve. Just let it rip. Heavenly Strike is a good one. It does double damage to staggered enemies, and it terrifies nearby enemies, and it only uses 1 resolve. Dance of Wrath uses 3 resolve, and as you can see what it's doing, it just tears people up. That has a chance to terrify. Available in Act 3, you can get Way of the Flame. This, obviously, as you can see, puts your sword on fire, and it also terrifies nearby enemies. And finally, on the longbow, you have explosive arrow. Kills may terrify enemies. So you got options here before we even get into charms to have a 30% chance to terrify plus, on any kill, and that adds to kills with these mythic techniques. Now, I do not know what the chance to proc is on these techniques alone. I looked it up, couldn't find anything, so I can't help you there. But it does proc Terrify. What I've got on the screen right now is the complete finished build with the charms that we're using. Let's start with these two minor charms. Fire Doctrine. Charm of Fire Doctrine is important because it adds a chance to terrify when burning an enemy. Not killing an enemy, but burning an enemy. So now, in addition to a chance to terrify on kill, we now have a chance to terrify on burn. Okay, that's important because what that does is it allows us to proc Terrify just from shooting somebody with a fire arrow, with a short bow, an explosive arrow with a long bow. We add the Charm of Incineration. Now we're procking Terrify with our black powder bombs. So Charm of Fire Doctrine is important. It is an Act 3 charm. You get two of them in the game for two quest rewards. Quest rewards for two different quests. One of them is a Father's Choice. The other quest is the Cost of Fear. Obviously, when you get the Ghost Armor, you will not have these charms. So I would recommend at least getting one of these charms as soon as you get the Ghost Armor if you want to play this play style. You'll still be procking without it. You'll still be procking Terrify without it, but this just adds a whole new level of Terrify procs. The other charm, one of the yellow charms, is Charm of Ikazuchi no Kami. Perks and abilities that Terrify are 25% more likely to occur. Now, that's also Act 3, and it's in one of the shrines. And quite frankly, I'm not gonna get into how we get to the percentages and the nerd stuff too much. I will say at the end of the day, from research and testing, with these charms in this armor set, you will be procking Terrify you'll be terrifying nearby enemies 75 to 85% of the time on kill, more so on technique kills, and 75 to 85% chance on burning. So, for instance, if you burn an enemy, you got the chance to terrify. If that enemy dies as a result of the burning, that's another chance to proc. This is the maximum. These two charms of fortune, two charms of fire doctrine, charm of Ikazuchi no Kami, and charm of incineration is your highest possible chance to proc terrify. Now, what I would suggest you supplement until you get the charm of fire doctrine you have any option you want. If you like stealth style, you could play stealth charms. Resolve is a really good option if you want to add charms of resolve to increase your resolve gains, which allow you to use more techniques, because their techniques allow you to proc Terrify, as we talked about. So there's plenty of options, and even when you're at the end game, you have these charms, you might want to supplement. Maybe the Terrify level is overkill. Maybe you want to add Enduring Affliction to extend the status effects of fire Maybe you want to get away from the fire. I wouldn't recommend entirely, but there's plenty of options for you to swap these out. Okay, with whatever supplements your particular play style. But this right here is your highest chance to terrify enemies that I can find, hands down. So with that, I'm going to go into just some footage, gameplay footage, clips of me playing this play style. Again, like I said, I'm minimizing my stealth assassination type kills just to show off the proc chances, and same with the ghost stance. You'll see that it's ready to go a lot of times, and I'm just not using it. Again, that's just to show the usefulness of the build. But basically, you're going to be using fire arrows, explosive arrows, the Way of the Flame, incendiary oil is really good because that's kills Terrify. Also, the burning effect terrifies thanks to your charms. So there's a lot of good synergy here to make things get scared. So I hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Wing! Han! Zipsige Bild!
Please help me! Someone, please!
내기 좀 할수
So that's how she stayed one step ahead of us. You taught her well, Sensei.
I know. Get ready.
Ой! Samara!